Welcome everyone to another episode of Mastering Money Mondays, where each and every week we infuse a topic to help us all transition from one of being a debtor and or saver into one of being a wealth creator. I am Mr. Green, affectionately known as Mr. Flip Your 401k.
And I am Cynthia Pete, also known as your financial freedom fighter.
That's what's happening. So, hey, why do we have this podcast? Why do we have this show, Mastering Money Mondays? It's quite simple. Hey, we've been taught how to make money, meaning go get an education, go get a great job, right? We've been taught how to manage money. Okay, now that you're making some money, put it in that checking, savings account, 401k account, or whatever. However, we have not been taught how to master money, meaning taking that dollar and over and over and over and over again, multiplying it, becoming pregnant with possibilities, right? So as Cynthia and I are learning more about money, getting mentorship, we are pouring back into community so that we can help one another, support one another, transition as we are learning, growing, evolving within our financial journey. So episode 24 is about tax now, tax later, tax advantage. All right. So before I go any further, make sure that you like and subscribe. Tell your mama and them so that we can get those followers up and we can get that content coming out and making it gooder and gooder and gooder. Yes, I did say gooder and gooder and gooder. All right. So we're going to tackle, right, a crucial aspect of planning, financial planning, which are taxes. Now, we're not tax experts, but we want to explore some concepts, the concepts of tax now, tax later, and tax advantage, because most people struggle with the understanding of where their money goes and the different tax treatments on various accounts. So that confusion can lead to misled opportunities and inefficient financial strategies. So turn it over to Cynthia for our money tip.
All right. So our money tip is that you need to understand the tax implications of each account type and optimize your financial strategy. Now, I will admit I am no tax expert, so I'm definitely going to lean on you for this one, Lonzy, because if I'm transparent, I have a tax bill with the IRS right now.
Oh.
Because, Lonzy, I never owed taxes. Like, I never owed them. And then one year, all of a sudden, I'm like, how did I owe taxes this year? And my accountant was like, well, you're making more. He was like, you're making significantly more money. Yeah. And I was like, I know, but I've never owed them before. And then also the tax laws changed on me. And because I used to be able to, well, you still can't I used to be able to calculate and just make sure I withheld enough. So by the end of the year, I didn't owe anything. Yep. And even if I got something back, it may have been like $100 or $200. But yes, me and Mr. IRS, we on the payment plan.
Yeah, look, I feel your pain. Oh. Look, one thing about the IRS, that money, they're going to get theirs, right? That's why IRS, the letters are in the word theirs, THEIRS, because they always going to get theirs, right? Yes. And that was something that I had to adjust to and cope with too, as I began to elevate, especially in my W-2 income. Those good old days of getting that refund every year start dwindling away. And now all of a sudden I'm paying the IRS, and now the questions change. Now I'm asking myself, okay, how do I get out of this experience? Because I don't like paying anybody, let alone the IRS every year. So now the questions become elevated, and you start to have to think about, okay, what are some strategies? What are some things I can do? From a tax standpoint, now I will say I'm not a tax expert, but I am a financial service professional, and I am learning about different instruments and the effect and the impact that they have on taxes, which can subsequently affect your overall financial strategy. So let's talk about tax now. What does tax now mean? That means that the money that you have, your income, the money is going to be taxed now. So here are some examples of some type of accounts that are taxed now. Your checking and your savings. All right. That's just a simple concept. And what do we mean by that? That money, when it's deposited, whether it's direct deposit or whether it's via a check, it's taxed now, meaning that ordinary income tax is being deducted from your paycheck or from whatever it is you're getting income from, right? And it's being before it's deposited into your checking or savings account, it's being taxed, right? So that's going to be subject to income tax throughout the year based on your income. So for instance, if you earn $100 on interest on your savings account, you'll need to report that income on your tax return for the year, right? This is straightforward, but it offers no tax benefits, which is why it is essential for you to consider other types of accounts for longer term savings and investing that doesn't necessarily have the type of tax implication that a checking and a savings account may have on you. All right. Now, tax later. Now we're talking about retirement savings accounts as an example, right? These are tax deferred accounts. Now we know that most retirement savings plans, now especially with litigation or legislation that's being passed, most of the plans are going to offer after tax features within retirement savings plans. But generally speaking, you contribute to a retirement savings plan on a pre-tax basis. What does this mean? This means you're deferring taxes because you are electing to put money into a retirement savings account without having any taxes taken out until you're ready to either leave the company or you're ready to retire, and now you're ready to get your money. And because guess what? That money has not been taxed. It's now going to be taxed once you decide to take the money out of the retirement account. This is tax later, right? Now, why would somebody want to do that? Why would somebody want to defer the taxes? Well, for some, it's because when you're putting that money in pre-tax, is lowering your taxable liability, right? So let's just say you make $50,000 a year. If you put $10,000 of that $50,000 that you make into a tax deferred account, like a 401k, then you're only taxed on $40,000. So now you're liable. So, for you people that are slow, I'll say slow. 10,000 minus 50,000 is 40,000. So that's where I got the 40,000 from. So now instead of being taxed on the 50,000, you're taxed on the 40,000. And for some people, based on their strategy, based on their understanding of taxes, that approach of dumping money into a tax deferred account like the 401k works for them, especially while they're a W-2 employee. Cynthia, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that or not before I go into tax advantaged.
No, I'm gonna let you have it, because when it comes to taxes, I'm just like, what is my tax bill? I mean, I know all the basics. Like put your money in 401k. Tax later. Reduce your taxable income and all that good stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, see, my wife be complaining every year. Why we paying thousands of dollars to the IRS? What can we do? Okay, if you don't want that pain, then I'm not saying this is no guarantees for everybody, because everybody's income is different. But one of the things that you can do is, again, dump your money into tax deferred account. It can be your HSA, health savings account, especially if you're in a high deductible health plan. You can dump your money in the HSA. You can dump your money in the 401k. This is all lowering your taxable income for the year, so you may not pay as much on taxes as what you would if had you not deferred. But again, you got to understand that even though you may not be taxed now and it's all fine and dandy, when it's time for you to take that money out, and it's going to come a time, and the IRS makes sure that even if you still actively working into your 70s, there's still going to come a time where you have no choice. And if you decide not to make a decision, they're going to tax you even more if you don't make a decision. They're going to get their money.
Yeah.
That you're going to be taxed in the future, right? So now let's talk about tax advantage, because this, for me, Cynthia, was something that I have recently come into the knowledge and somewhat understanding of. And this is what has changed the game for me and has changed my financial strategy and has had me thinking like, okay, I might need to redirect and reposition because I had my money in a lot of tax now, tax later accounts. But let's talk about tax advantage.
Okay.
Tax advantage accounts like Roth IRAs, certain life insurance policies, long-term care insurance. These are different, right? Because contributions to Roth IRAs, contributions to life insurance is all after tax money. So when you take loans from these, well, not Roth, but when you take a loan from a life insurance policy, for example, you're doing this tax free.
Right.
When you were drawing money out, you're doing that tax free as opposed to the 401k. If you take it directly out of the plan, they're going to tax you 20% mandatory, right? And then if you roll it even into a traditional IRA, if you take the money out, if it's pre-tax dollars, you're going to be taxed. Not with life insurance. The withdrawals, and I believe even the earnings, I mean, keep me honest, I think even all of that stuff is growing tax free. So there's some advantages there, right? There's also advantages like for me, I have children that are approaching college, and you may have, well, one in college and one that will be in college. You can leverage life insurance, right, to pay off college, and the money that's in the life insurance policy doesn't count towards your FAFSA account, right? It doesn't count as income. So these are tax advantage instruments that can change the game for you, not only in the here and now, but in the long term. So again, the death benefit in life insurance, right? So if I croak, if Cynthia croaks, you have a life insurance policy, the death benefit that is paid to your beneficiary is tax free, right? So this is what we're talking about when we call tax advantage, because even though you may be funding these sources or these instruments with after tax dollars, once you do that, because of the features within these instruments, it broadens the scope of what you can do with your money, not only in the here and now, but also in the future. So
what was the technical term that you use when someone passes away?
Croak.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I did say croak. Say we might have to. Yeah, I did say croak. You know what? Hey, look. Look, man, all I got is a DISD, Dallas Independent School Education. All right. Shout out to the DISD. But yeah, I said croak.
Okay.
I don't know what's a more formal, what's a more PC term. Yes. So anyway, that's the difference. And so we wanted to at least share what those different what those differences are, and then what instruments align with those differences, because not to tell you exactly what to do, but for someone like me that was used to saving, right, and not necessarily used to wealth creation, the primary source of my money was housed in tax now, tax later accounts, right? Checking, savings accounts, retirement accounts, right? And it wasn't until I started thinking more about taxes, because I was having to pay more taxes, that I started to explore and come across other different avenues that created more advantage for me and my money, right? So with that being said, Cynthia, I'll turn it on over to you to close us on out.
Yes. So thank you, Lonzie, for breaking that down, because I'm by no means a tax expert. I will say that go pay an expert to help you with your money.
Good point.
I mean, guys, it's a lot. I have an accountant. I have a financial planner, because the way is, America has really become a self-service country, right? And so you got to figure it out. You have to be aware. I've had a financial planner for years, and I thank God for financial planners. So stop being cheap. Pay now, not later. And go get a financial planner to help you out, to guide you. I have really been grateful for those financial planners. So
yes, indeed.
That's my tidbit. I don't know, but I know the person that does know. So that's who I go to. Absolutely.
All right. So with that being said, hey, thank you all for joining another episode of Mastering Money Mondays. Again, be sure to like and subscribe. Tell your mama and them. And until we meet again, take care.
All right. DISD Finance. We out.